Welcome everyone to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time.
None of that affects how you are going to change the world.
That's right.
No, it does not take one person to change the world, but it takes one person to believe in themselves.
Yes.
That they can make a difference.
I love
to
that.
Inspire others.
And that's why, for me, I try to make it my purpose now to try to help other people realize their self-worth.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad that so many of us, we get destroyed based off of what other people have to say.
Yeah.
I would say do it in your own way. Make sure you're doing it on your own accord and take a risk.
Go out there and live your life passionately. Believe in everything that you're doing and believe in the fact that you will accomplish every single goal. Welcome everyone to Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to pray. Take some time, take a minute and pray, and then count your blessings. In this chaotic world right now, we miss out on opportunities to just quiet our minds and our spirits and our souls so that we can connect with our higher power. Take that time today and pray for happiness, pray for joy, pray for inner peace. Pray for others. Use this time to utilize that connection that you have with God or whoever you aspire to, and just use that opportunity to get deeper and closer to who you were created to be. I am your host, LaShawn Walker. I'd like to welcome you in. Please like, share, and follow. Let everyone know that we're on right now. I hope that you guys had a wonderful week. It is beautiful outside. I cannot believe March actually turned around on us, my friends. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm enjoying it right now for the most part. You know, I'm always trying to participate in a lot of activities on my time off, and I have been still caring for my loved one, and you know, they are definitely progressing so well. So again, thank you so much for everyone who have been praying, who've been contacting me, asking me how they're doing. They are definitely coming along, and it is because of your prayers that they're doing so, and I'm so grateful. So yeah, this weekend I was able to attend, you know, a women's event, because you know this is Women's History Month, and we were able to honor someone that is very dear to me, as well as the Our Unity show. So I want to get right to it, my friends. And so this week in Unity in the community, it was our dear, sweet, beautiful Queen Celine that was honored by Assemblywoman Michelle Salages. She was 2024's Woman of Distinction for all of the hard work that she does in the community, all that she does to empower and uplift the youth, all that she's doing to just make a difference in this world. I was so honored to be there front row and center, enjoying and just radiating in her light everything that she's accomplished and all that she wants to do to just help others out there, serve others out there. Her mom is doing such a fantastic job with this young lady, and the path that she is on is so remarkable, and I'm just so happy to be a part of her journey. She deserves that award for all of the hard work that she's done, as well as all of the honorees who I felt were just so spectacular and incredible in their own right for what they do to pour into their community, to make this world a better place, to make sure that others are living as whole and as happy as they possibly could. So I was so thankful to be there with her and her family. There with her dad and her mom and her brother. So yeah, it was about honoring women who are doing, and mind you, she's not even a full-grown woman yet. This is still a little girl. She has so much growing to do. There's so much time for her to accomplish even more spectacular and amazing goals. But it was beautiful to see that she was recognized for everything that she's doing right now at the tender age of 11 or 12, I believe. So yeah, I am basking in her beauty and her light, and just glad that I was able to, you know, attend this amazing moment in her life. So, you know, it is Women's Month, Women's History Month, which we literally should be celebrating every single day. Last week, you know, our beautiful guest, Nija Howard, she made sure that she shared some important things that we should be doing as women to support and uplift each other on a daily basis. And also, she shared what we should be doing individually, ourselves, to make sure that we are keeping ourselves strengthened, empowered, and whole. One of those things was, you know, basically knowing our history, knowing where we came from. The people, the very people that paved the way for us, whether we knew them or not. Last week's episode had me reflecting on a lot of things in my life, my friends. I am so grateful for everything that is going on in my world. I am so grateful for you guys out there that tune in every week. And if you're new, I even thank you for this moment that you're deciding to watch the show today. Like, the blessings are running over, and I am so grateful. And that show last week made me realize just how grateful I am for not only the history of who I am and where I came from and why I am, but just the fact that I have the power within me. I am, as she so poignantly put it, I found my life. And reason why I found my life, because when I was on this journey of discovering who I am, revisiting my history, my past, and unpacking a few things, rediscovering who I was and what I wanted to be, I needed a deeper connection, a deeper spiritual connection. I was on a word tour, as many of you know, at one point, and I was just trying to find somewhere that I can connect and deepen my spirituality and my connection to God. I needed to feel him in every bit of my life, every single day. I always was a prayer. I prayed for things that I wanted. I never thought to pray for those things that I already had, or just be in prayer, just to be in prayer with God, to let him know that I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you blessed me with another beautiful day. I'm happy that I have my limbs and I have my right state of mind. I'm happy that I have my home and my job. Like, those are the things that I started to pray for once I got my life. It wasn't just about those things that I was yearning for, hoping for, needing, those things that I wanted him to remove. It was for those things that I already had. And, you know, sometimes we get caught up in such our busy lives and the things that we have going on and the many chores and the people that we need to care for, that we miss those opportunities to speak with God or whoever your higher power is. We miss those little opportunities to just say, check in. Hey, what's up? I just wanted to let you know I am thankful for you, bringing out the sun, waking me up this morning, allowing me to miss, you know, a car accident or being late for work. Whatever it is, I am grateful and I'm thankful for. And it is all because of prayer that I feel that those blessings happen, that those mountains are now miracles that have came into my life. So I want to speak today about that. The very power of prayer. It is huge, it is mighty, it is amazing. And if you take some time to actually do it every day, I'm telling you, your life, your peace, your heart, your mind will be so much clearer. You'll have so much a lighter, essence about yourself. You will radiate that light that God wants us to have and show to the world every single day. So we're going to talk to an amazing woman who is a prayer warrior. And her name is Elder Annette Christian. I love her last name. It already speaks to who I am, my friend. And the title of the show is The Power of Prayer. Annette Christian, a proud native New Yorker, wears many hats: wife, mother, grandmother, educator, and dedicated servant of her community. From a young age, Annette felt the calling to become a teacher, driven by her passion for education and her deep desire to positively impact the lives of young people who she sees as the future leaders of tomorrow. Her mission is to be a beacon of light for all those she encounters, guided by her faith and commitment to uplift others. Despite facing personal challenges, she remains focused on the brighter aspects of life and finds joy in recognizing the potential for greatness in everyone she meets. Her inspiration stems from her family and her unwavering dedication to serving others. As a mighty prayer warrior, Annette generously extends her faith and convictions to uplift and inspire all who cross her path, serving as a beacon of encouragement and support in their spiritual journey. She firmly believes that regardless of the obstacles one faces, they possess the strength to overcome and emerge victorious, empowered to conquer any challenge that comes their way. So please help me welcome the beautiful prayer warrior, Miss Elder Annette Christian. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be a guest on your show and for this platform.
I so appreciate you being here. Again, I was telling the viewers that, once I decided it's time for me to get my life, I know I needed to find a deeper connection with God. I was on this word tour, and I visited your church right before the pandemic. And then the pandemic happened. And after that, I ended up, going to another church. And then, once I saw, unfortunately, I wasn't growing within that space. And I feel that everyone out there, when you're going to church, don't just go to church for the sake of going. You go because you're growing in the word, in the church. I felt that that was no longer happening. So I decided to go back to this amazing church that I had went to during the pandemic, Reverend Pastor Wallace's church, and I loved it. I love every bit of that woman. So when I returned, obviously, everyone took our information, and this lovely, beautiful young lady asked me for mine. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I come from churches where as soon as they take your information, they calling you the very next hour. You're on the choir, you're in the choir, you're on the board, you're doing all of these things. But this woman did not do that. She just literally started sending me daily devotionals that just kept my spirit uplifted in a time that I actually needed it. So I appreciate that. That's why you are here. I wanted to share with the people the power of prayer and how what you do and what you extended to me was so important, and how we need to share it with the world. Okay? So let's dig right in, my friend. I usually ask my guests, tell us a little about your childhood. I see that you're a native New Yorker. Where were you born? Where were you raised?
Okay. I am a native New Yorker, though I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I was adopted. I was raised by my grandparents, which is really the only mom and dad that I know. And I have 3 biological brothers, and just a host of nephews and nieces that I have. I think it was at the tender age of 9 years old. I saw a lot of domestic violence, growing up, and grew up as a Lutheran. But it was always something innate that I believe God put in me, that there was something more that I needed than what I was getting. And I'll never forget it. I was filled with the Holy Ghost at the age of 9, speaking in tongues in my bedroom, listening to R.W. Shambach.
Wow.
So vividly.
Did you understand that?
Yes, I did.
You did,
I understood
even
what
at
it
9
was.
years
At
old.
9 years old, yes.
Wow.
I understood. Also, I grew up sickly. I was born with spinal meningitis.
Right.
I was pronounced clinically dead. I was only born 6 months. I can fit in the size of a man's hand.
Oh, my goodness.
But my mom, thank God I didn't know who my mom was. And she said that she took me and put me in her chest. And she went to rub and went to rub.
Right.
And she said, and then I started breathing. And I guess like back in the 60s, they didn't have incubators.
Right.
So she had to sign for me to be in an incubator.
Wow.
So I went through a gamut of like stuff. And then by the time I was 5 years old, I was hit by a car. I should be paralyzed from the waist down. But to God, I am here. And because of the spinal meningitis, they said I would never have any children.
Oh, my goodness.
And God blessed me to have children. They said I would be mentally retarded. But God has blessed me to be a teacher of all things. And though I did struggle, but it was always something about the power of prayer. Even when I was little, I knew like the Lord is my shepherd, and I would always learn our Father who art in heaven, and that's Psalms 23. But it was just something about prayer, even from little. I just knew there was something, there's a conversation that you have with God in prayer. And a lot of times I believe that we mislead people and we make it so convoluted. We make it so hard. It's just like us sitting here talking a conversation.
Yes, exactly.
And what I tell people is not about religion.
Nope.
though you do have different reformations and you do have different denominations, but the power that God is looking for is that relationship.
Yes.
Because he is our heavenly Father.
Yes, yes.
And the only way we can be saved is through Jesus.
Yes.
And that's why he sent his son.
I love that.
You know, to die for us. And just think about that. When Jesus died over 2,000 years ago, he had you on your mind.
Yes.
He had me. He had you. You know, and what I also love about prayer that keeps you grounded is that no matter what you go through in life, God has already known you're going to go through it.
Yes, yes.
So I went through a gamut of just different things in my childhood, you know, growing up, being bullied, had to wear braces on my legs, you know, just a gamut of different things. Even now I wear glasses. And like you said, the power of prayer.
Yes.
I know I should not be alive.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
anybody with meningitis, a lot of them, they don't make it.
Yeah, well, that's my question as well. I mean, you went through so much at a very tender young age, but yet at 9 years old, you said you started speaking in tongues. Were you already immersed in church? Were you know,
At a Lutheran church.
You were, but
Yes.
so your grandmother or your
Yes.
okay had already, and you understood even at that time,
Yes.
what you were hearing, what they were trying to pour and instill in you,
Yes.
what they wanted you to see.
Yes.
And so now you're going through so many other challenges growing up. How do you stay positive in that? How do you stay, you know, prayed up even in the midst of that? Because
Even
you
in
have
the
to-
midst, oh God, there are days I'm like, Lord, I'm not speaking to you right now. You know? And I never forget the one time he told me, he just like, tell me that you're mad at me. And I was like, I said, you don't tell God that. He said, no, be honest with me. He said, if we're in a relationship, and if you're in a relationship with God, you be honest with him because he already knows how you feel.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
so you do it respectfully.
Yes.
You know, you still honor him because he is God.
Right.
But in the same token, he is a loving father. And it's through prayer that I've learned that what I'm missing in my natural or what I think I should have had, those voids,
Yes.
it's just something about being in his presence. Sometimes you don't even have words to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
People don't know, sometimes you just get down there and I just cry.
Yes.
That's called liquid prayer.
Yes.
And he bottles every tear.
Yes.
And what did he say? I will turn your mourning into dancing.
Oh, my God.
So to whoever's hearing now, no matter what you're going through, no matter what loss you're going through, because pain is pain.
Yes, it is.
But one thing has strengthened me. I go, Annette, you worrying about your pain, but look what Jesus did on Calvary for you.
Yeah.
So why can you not go just through this little bit for him?
Yeah.
And it's something about prayer. There's a divine transfer. Because when you are in his presence, you get out you. Yes,
Yeah.
you get out you.
Right.
But some of us don't stay down there long enough for him to then fill us back with him.
Right. Right.
We get up too quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then some of us are afraid
Yeah.
because we think he's a God with a stick. And oh God, I did that wrong and I did that wrong. He's going
Right.
to zap, get me.
Yes.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's very loving. And even when he chastises through his word, it's such in a loving way.
Yeah. No, I truly believe that. And I used to get to that point too, like exactly what
Just
you
too
said.
afraid.
So afraid. But then I literally said, in my power to pray and to come to you, then I should be able to see, because he already knows
He
what I
already
feel.
knows,
You know what I
yes.
mean? He already understands where I'm in need and what I'm angry about and why I'm even feeling the way I'm feeling towards him. You know? So it
Yes.
is to be honest, to start that dialogue. And then what I notice after I release that, then he shows me the why. I have to listen though.
Yes,
And that is
that's the
what's so
key.
important. It's the not just seeing that you need to do it, but listening
Yes.
in the same time. How does prayer help with our self-development? Because I mentioned earlier that I was on this journey of finding myself and, going through so much and losing so much. I was losing direction of who I ultimately thought I was supposed to be, my purpose
Yes.
and my passion for that purpose. And then once I decided and knew I needed to embark on this journey, it was the only thing that really made me feel like I was being accomplished in this journey was my reconnection to my spirituality and my faith. It was me believing and me speaking and me seeing it without asking. I wasn't asking anymore. You know, it was literally just like, I know it already, and I thank you for it. So for others out there watching, how can prayer help with your growth and your self-development?
Process. There's no other way to say it. It's a process. Just like when you're cooking, you get all your different ingredients.
Yeah.
Things don't happen when I'll say a good meal.
Right.
A real good meal, not the fast food, but a real good meal. It takes time.
Right.
Also, it's like a seed when you put it in the ground. There are times some of us have been praying for things for years. And it's like, God hasn't heard me. It hasn't happened when I want it to happen, so it's not going to happen.
Right.
But like a seed, even the Bible tells you that the seed, it goes into the ground. What does it do? It dies.
Yeah.
And once that seed died, there's a breaking. Now notice your roots have to develop first. So a lot of times you're praying and you're thinking God's not hearing you, but he's hearing you.
Yeah.
Because your roots have got to be so rooted and
Yes.
grounded in him.
Yeah.
In his word. It has to be rooted and grounded in worship. And those are your development stages.
Right.
And I think a lot of times in the churches, we don't teach that there's a process.
Right.
And God is aware. When you fall off, you get back on.
Yep.
And he is so aware of that.
Yes.
And he is so loving. That sometimes when you drop him off, he's right where you dropped him off.
Yep.
So
You're
when
right
you
about
go
that.
back, he's right there.
Girl.
He is always right there.
Yes.
And like that seed grows and you'll start seeing it sprout.
Yes.
And then you start seeing it. Prayer, to me, personally, has kept my mind
Yeah.
along with worship. There are days I get down there, I don't even have words. But also, if you surround yourself with other prayer warriors that really can get to heaven, that's another thing. You gotta, because you can't do it by yourself.
You can't.
The Bible says one can chase 1,000, but
Right.
two
Yeah.
can put 10,000 to the flight.
Right.
So sometimes I gotta be like, LaShawn, I can't get through what I'm going through right now,
Yes.
girl. Just call my name out in prayer.
Yes.
You know, and that's why sisterhood
Yes. It's so important.
is so important.
It really is.
We don't have time for jealousy.
Yeah.
And notice what the enemy does. He causes women to fight and to friction, because when women get together,
Oh, yes.
and praying women,
Yes.
we tear up some
Yes,
stuff.
we do.
By the Spirit,
Yes.
yes, we tear up.
Yes.
And I had one mother told me one
power.
time, she said, every time you wake up, don't you know you are testifying that God is with you, and the devil's like, oh God, she's
Yeah.
up again.
She's up again. She's at it
She's
again.
up at it again.
I have no wins today. You know,
Yeah,
there's
because
no
we
way
are
you
a
can penetrate
threat.
you.
We got to
Exactly.
realize that we are a threat to
Yes.
the enemy.
Yeah.
But because of life circumstances and things that go on,
Mm-hmm.
we have allowed him to bombard us through our family, through work, through our upbringings, you know, just through things that are not conducive the way we think it is.
Yeah.
But I've learned how to just wait and trust in him in the
Amen.
prayer, because at the end, I know I'm going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
where
then
I'm
what
at.
it is, you're learning. It's just like my son-in-law, you know, my son-in-law, you know, my future son-in-law in love, you know, he was my trainer.
Right.
You know, and he was teaching me, you know, that stability and teaching me, Ma, you got to start this,
Right.
you know, and it was like, and I would get so frustrated. He said, Ma, but it's a process.
Wow.
And then I watched, just even like with weights, process.
Yeah.
And then I start seeing the strengthening in my legs.
Yeah.
You know, going back to those. So, and I know he's probably going to get me now, but I do need to go back into that, because I've learned even in that, if your process, and that's something that we don't like. We don't like process.
No, it takes too long. We get
We
impatient.
want it because it's the
We want it when
society we
want.
live in.
Exactly. Yes.
And if you take that time, there's a learning of God in prayer.
Yeah.
And there's a learning of you.
Yes.
And when you allow him to reveal the you, because one thing I love about God, when you get saved, he's not taking what he put in you away. He's just really enhancing it.
Yes, he is.
That's
Yes.
all he does.
Yes, or removing those things that
you don't need.
That you
And
so
giving you.
desperately think
Yes,
you
you
need
holding
or holding
on
on to. Exactly.
Yes, it's just like something I saw on Facebook was so cute. It was a child standing, and it was a figure that they did of Jesus, and the baby had a teddy bear, but Jesus had a bigger teddy bear. How many of us, I can say, God is saying, give me that old this.
Yes.
Give me that
And we
old that,
hold it
because
on.
what I got is so
Much
much
better.
better. It is greater.
Yes.
But what do? We're holding on to
Yes,
it.
yeah.
We're holding, I'm guilty,
Yeah.
guilty.
Yep, no.
Holding on to it.
Yeah.
But I've learned you got to make that conscious decision that if God made you, he mapped out your life, there's got to be greater ahead.
Yes, no, there's no doubt in my mind, my friend.
And everything you've gone through, it just teaches you to get you where you need to be.
Well, I think that is the point that I had gotten to once the realization came, is that I just have to pray and just believe and just let go. And stop expecting everything to look the way I desire.
There it is.
And once I did that, and it's so true. Once I did that, the picture became so much more beautiful.
Yes.
The situation became so much better.
Yes.
Everything that I didn't even imagine happened, which was so much greater than what I even thought. So it's about you really just believing, and while you're in that prayer, and even if you're just sitting there crying, even in that cry, just believe that even though I'm down right now, even though I'm not feeling my best, even though I'm sad and I'm not, feeling his presence, I still believe,
it.
and that's where I think a lot of us, especially now in this day and time, need to be. It's important what you said a few minutes ago of, the challenges that you've gone through, and the fact that you still remain steadfast in your prayer. When I was having, my loved one was, having the kidney transplant, she sent me her beautiful devotions, like she says every morning, that I don't know how, by the way, actually spoke to everything that I was going through and feeling that day. That's how I was like, oh no, I got to keep this woman on she's on my best friends list now. But when you texted that morning, and then I just happened, because I wasn't going to share it, but something just said, share it. I'm where I'm at, and this is why I'm here. And then she immediately said, I'm praying for you. So I was like, oh, that's great. And I just put the phone down and then kept it moving. But literally within seconds, you called me on the phone and said, I heard what you said, but I feel the need to pray with you now over the phone. And when I tell you that that was the most amazing moment, that solidified even my belief and the faith and everything that I had. The prayer, the words spoken out of your mouth just gave me that extra comfort that I needed in that moment. Even though I believed God and I knew my loved one was going to be fine and everything was going to end up well, I still, it's that on
God
your
knows,
shoulder,
like,
you know what I mean? The what if, the worry, the this,
Yes.
but you
Yes.
gave me that prayer, and it literally just made me realize how seriously powerful prayer is. And the fact that, like you said, when we come together and we do it, because you were on speaker at that point, my daughter was sitting there listening. So I needed her to feel what I was feeling at that time, that you were speaking over my life on behalf of what was going on in my life. So that was amazing. Tell me, because I know that you do that for others. That is your life, really, is that you just, you're praying and you're doing it from your heart, and you're doing it because not necessarily you know that they need to be prayed for, but just the fact that you know that every last one of us needs an extra prayer, from someone. So tell us a little about, that journey and the healing process of prayer in your life.
It's been a tremendous journey. Yes. I think for me and for my husband, we were battling with one of our sons, went through like crazy stuff like you never thought you would imagine as a parent going through. Things that you go through. You spend so much time on one child that you forget that you got other ones because you know what the enemy is showing you.
Right.
And also, God, little I would see visions. So it was like I was seeing certain things, though I didn't handle it in a more mature manner
Right.
that I know I should have.
Right.
It was just like it was a fight. You know, prayer, it's a fight, because when you pray, God hears you, but also the enemy hears you.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Oh, she praying for her finances? Now, my little imps and my little demons, we gonna send this.
Yes.
And then for me, because being an educator, I was also praying for other children. And also, you know, just sharing the word with other families. And I would pray and just watch God, boom, like it just automatic happened. And I'm on the sideline going, but Lord, you don't see. But wait a minute, you don't see what I'm going through,
Exactly,
you know,
no,
and
yeah.
it's like he does see.
Oh, yes.
You know, he does see what I'm going through, but I've had to learn that I only can speak just for me. What I need from God, he'll send people periodically, but mine's come straight from him.
Yes.
And that took me, oh my God, years to get that through this thick skull. You know, that some things, it just got to come straight from God.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And it's not saying he's not putting people around you,
Right.
but whatever you do in life, God has to be glorified. And for some of us, we still got too many people around us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, oh, but this one did it. My mom did it. This one did it. That one did it. My dad did it. Or my best friend did it.
Yeah.
So you cannot. God's not going to share his glory with no man.
Yeah.
Now, he'll use people around you. And that's why when people look at me, they think I just say it as a cliche, but I don't.
Right.
When people, that, oh, God, I thank God that you prayed and da-da-da, and God did so, yeah, but to God be the glory.
Exactly.
Immediately,
Yes.
I give all glory back to God.
Yes.
Because I never want me,
Right.
the vessel.
Right.
I'm just the vessel that he's using. And it is easy to get the big head.
Oh, yeah. Of
You know,
course.
God's
of course.
using you. Oh, look what he's doing. Da 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 da. And sometimes God has to go, okay, you getting a little too. Let me pull the rug.
That's right. Let me pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, let me
I don't
just
wanna
pull it
get
back.
No
Yeah.
big head. But no, I get how that could actually happen. But that is because you at a certain point, you're going to feel that you're touched, that you're extra special, that you're being downloaded these blessings and this information and these visions and this foresight for a reason, to touch others.
Yes.
And honestly, that's how I felt, after
Amen.
hearing, you pray for my loved one. So I know that you're instilling that in everyone that crosses your path, I'm sure.
Yes.
I know you are a prayer warrior for our wonderful church, Agape Cathedral,
Yes.
881 Merrick
Boulevard.
Merrick Boulevard in Baldwin, New York.
Yes.
Yes, and I know that you're doing that for all others. Prayer in the world right now, I think, has diminished
Yes.
a lot.
Yes, it
We're busy
has.
people. We don't no longer associate prayer with religion, and not necessarily just spirituality and connection to a higher power, but we just disassociated from just our personal happiness, care, and concern. That's the best way I can put it right now. How do we, in the world that we're living in right now,
How do you carve it in?
how do we carve it
How do
in?
you carve it in? It's a running joke in my house. Don't let mommy pray. When they were little, oh my gosh, I was like, guys, it's time for Bible study, time for prayer, and I get this. Because I was one of those, I don't care, get down there.
Yep.
And sometimes they'll be asleep. I didn't care.
Yeah, get
Drool
up.
be going.
Yep.
I don't care, because while I'm praying, I'm anointing.
Yes,
Lord,
yes.
cover them. I think the world that we live in, and I'm so glad you asked that, it's like, how do you carve that? Because there were days I remember I would just lay in God's face hours. It's like you can't do that now because of the type of world that we live in. And I
Yes.
wouldn't even say that you can't. It's like, how do you carve that time out?
Yes.
So you have to make that conscious decision within yourself. If I can spend time with my girlfriends, I can spend time on social media, I can spend time doing this. You need to really find where you spending your most time at.
Yep.
And not only go to God when you have a problem.
Right.
Because he's not a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
And it's sad. We use him when we want him and then we throw him back on the shelf. But God don't work like that.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
He has, we don't think of it, though he's a spirit and we worship him in spirit and truth. He has feelings.
Yes. Yes.
Because he made us with emotions, especially us as women.
Yeah.
So, you know, he does have feelings. So I would share with our audience, if you're new in prayer or restarting in prayer, find those, even if it's 15 minutes.
Yes.
If it's 10 or 15 minutes, all you have to do is say, God, I'm giving this time to you. Think about it this way. When you're dating, you put your best foot forward.
Yes, you do.
Put your good smell on.
Yes.
Get up. You do what you have to do.
Spend hours in the
Spend
hair salon.
hours, yes,
in
getting
the
your
nail
nails
salon.
done, getting everything
Exactly.
done.
Yes.
Why don't we meet our God like that?
Yes.
Our
yes.
master creator.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
do we not meet him like that?
Yeah. For all the
amazing things that he's done. It's his heir.
Yeah.
I tell my students, you don't wake yourself up. Your mom, it's his air. Let's think about that. We're breathing his air.
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
Because he breathed in what?
Yes.
The nostrils.
That's right.
He breathed. So it's just, if you can just start right there, try it for 1 week. I challenge you. Just try it for 1 week. So you know what, Lord, I'm normally on social media, or also do it when you are alert. Don't do it when you're sleepy. You know, rather if you're a morning person, afternoon, or night person, carve out at least 15 minutes. And in those 15 minutes, just tell him your heart.
Yes. Yes.
Talk to him like you talk to a friend.
Yeah. That
Tell
could be
it.
in the shower.
In the shower,
That
yeah.
could be on the
being
way
real.
to the train.
Yeah,
in
wherever
the car.
that time
Yes.
is, just you and him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have that dialogue with him.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how that dialogue will grow.
Right.
And then if you don't know what to say, pray his word. How do I pray his word? You got to read it.
Exactly.
You don't have to do a whole chapter. If you can only do a verse for that week, stick with that one verse. To God, that's more important. You trying to do a whole chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just start small.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even a babe in Christ, you grow.
Yeah. No, you're
That's why
absolutely
you're
right.
called a babe.
Yep, a babe.
You are a babe.
Well,
It takes growth.
Well, speaking of our babes, because yes, I don't know too many children unless they grew up in
Right.
in that prayer warriors household
Yes.
that are even acknowledge or understand what that actually means. I know you work with children.
Yes.
Tell me a little about what you see in the young children that you work with, and how we can impart, us out there and our viewers, the little children in our lives, how can we impart, that idea of prayer and the importance of it, and when they can sort of etch out that little bit of time for it.
For me, I'm a firm believer in Proverbs 22:6, where it says, train up a child in the way that he should go, that when he grows old, he shall not depart from it. It doesn't mean they're not going to go out and do things.
Of course.
But that seed is being planted. So even yourself, if you don't have it, you pray that God send people around. And even if you are starting off, they see that.
Yeah.
And what it is, you just model it.
Yep.
Grace
Yep.
before they eat. My grandbabies, I tell them, I said, you say your grace?
Yeah.
And they bow and they say their grace. Those are the little prayers. So you teach them little increments. And let them watch you giving God praise.
Right.
Let them watch you when it's not going as well. You know what? We still going to praise God.
Yeah.
Because there's things that my older children, they're like, Mommy, you said God said this and God said that. We haven't seen it yet. I said, that's the key. We haven't seen it yet. But what I've learned, things that we are praying for, you have to think about it. If you have a child, you don't give them your keys to your car.
Right. Yeah.
Because why? They haven't developed into it.
Exactly.
And even if you have one that has a learner's permit,
You
are permitting them,
Yes.
okay, and they're learning,
Yeah.
but they still need a what? Licensed driver.
That's right. They still need to be monitored. That's
Until
right. Yeah.
they get that driver's license, and then you give them that full authority.
Right.
So it's the same thing with children in prayer. You have to teach them. Even with my students, I've watched the school that I'm at now. A lot of them don't pray.
Wow. Isn't it a
And
Christian
so
school?
now, a lot, but you'd be surprised how people like, oh, but you're in a Christian school.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how we have a lot of unbelievers are in the Christian schools
Wow.
because of safety reasons.
Right, okay,
You know,
right.
and they know for the discipline reasons. You know, so parents have different reasons, you know, of why they bring their children there.
Right.
So you have to set that tone. So in my classroom, yes, I'm a disciplinarian, you know, but I set that tone. God comes first.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
over me teaching you this math.
Yeah, I know
You
that's right.
And if my class is going haywire, they know, Father, in the name of Jesus, I shut everything down and just started it.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking at me like, wow. You know, and then I say, you have any prayer requests? And they'll write it down, and you'd be surprised.
Wow.
These children, they have prayer requests, but they don't have anyone inviting it in.
Right, right.
And it's not that they don't want prayer. It's not that they haven't heard, but they need it modeled for them.
Exactly. I see what you're saying.
They need it modeled.
Yeah. And that is important right now. That's what
Yes.
I'm hoping and I'm looking for to happen very soon. Because I would hate to see a world where our children are already struggling, you know, in
Yes.
life, period, because of just the principalities that be, but not having any protection from
Right.
that, not having
Right.
any armor for that, not having
Yes.
just any knowledge of how to battle it is
Right.
my concern. And so I so believe it's important that we share with our young kids the importance of spirituality
Yes.
and going to church and ascribing to something bigger than ourselves
Yes,
and
yes.
believing that even though we don't see it, that it will and it is possible. So that's what
it.
I want to hear too. Like when we don't see it, because we're a society of people that are anxious, that we want things when we want them. And you're a praying woman. You're deeply rooted in church. Tell us a little about your personal experience in feeling that, you know, you're not being heard or seen and still being able to remain grounded and faith-filled and prayed up.
I believe for me in those times, it really is your faith. Because your faith, it roots and it grounds you. I tell people, like, well, how you got such faith? It's because of the other little things that I've gone through. Because what I do, I'll turn around and go, okay, but if God did that, he can do this.
Right.
Okay. And I think what it is, a lot of us is not that we don't want to believe, we don't like the timing of God.
Yeah.
Because we want it when we want it.
Yeah.
How we want it.
Yeah.
And then, like I was getting ready to say before, a lot of things that we're praying for, God is preparing us for it.
Yeah. Very true.
And that's really what it is.
Yes.
It's not that he's not hearing us,
Yeah.
but he's preparing us. Like your car.
Yeah.
You got to have that positive and that negative in order for that battery, for there to be a charge. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I tell people, how do you know God is a healer if you've never had any type of sickness?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
how do you know God's going to make a way if you have never had a way to be made?
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
and I think a lot of it too is our testimonies.
Yes.
You know, that we give to people. Like I share with people, and people would not look at my family now, some of the pictures you've seen, some of the things that we've gone through. Just on a normal day, like we did 1199. They never thought they would go through that.
Wow.
Clear day, I was on my way going home. We had a fire, lost everything.
Wow.
But thank God, through that short homeless period that we had,
Right.
that was still a testimony because my family was safe.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
because it could have turned another way.
So much worse.
And I think what it is, when we hit trials and when we hit certain things, our innate human nature goes and gravitates toward the negative so quickly because there's so much negativity around us.
Exactly.
So what has rooted and grounded me even in the most trying times, there were days I took the towel, I said, Father, take me home. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it real.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
there's days it's like, Father, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Like, and then I throw the towel, he throws it right back.
Yes.
Not done yet.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah.
And there's some personal prayers. I say, Father, I can't walk right now, but if you keep your hand on me, don't remove your hand off me. If you gotta drag me,
Drag me. Yes.
Drag me till I can crawl.
Yes.
And once I can start crawling, Jesus, then I can get up and walk and put some pep in my step. But as long as your hand is on me,
Yes.
God, we can do this.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have to trust him. Like air. You don't see air,
But you still breathing.
but you breathing, and you
and
know
you're
that
still
air
walking.
is there.
Yes.
You get on the trains. You don't know that conductor have been doped up, whatever, the night before, but you
right.
getting on that train.
That's right. That's right. That's
Like
right.
me just now, sitting in this chair. I'm not thinking, oh, that chair, oh, in my mind, oh, I know that chair's going to hold me. How do I know
How
it's
do
going to
you know
hold me?
it? That's
Just
right.
faith. And so that's what faith does. It builds because he takes us from faith to faith
Yes.
and from glory to glory.
Yes.
So if you got the faith as a grain of a mustard seed, just believe him for the littlest thing and say, God, if you are who you say you are, I really need you to show me this. Because
Yes.
if you don't show me this, Lord, I don't know what else to do.
Exactly. Well,
And be honest with him.
yeah, no, I love that you say that, because there were those moments, and I'm sure we all go through it, that you're ready. You say you're ready, and you're telling God, I'm ready.
Yeah, yes.
And he's,
Like,
you're praying, you showing up, you showing out, you going overboard, you're doing all of these extraordinary things. You even telling him things that you know ain't true, but you telling him, I'm ready. And he's like, no, I don't think so. And then he puts more stuff, more obstacles, more roads, more challenges, more this. And I used to get frustrated.
Yes.
But once I found my life, I realized that those were things that needed to grow me, to strengthen me. Those no's, those roads that I was trying to navigate, that I was like, I'm ready to go up that.
I got
and
this.
he's like, no,
No.
Like you said,
Yeah,
it's a
you ain't got
process.
this.
You're not ready yet.
Not
I
ready
need
yet.
to grow you. And then, and like we mentioned earlier, being that patient person in that, so that I can see how much bigger the plan he actually has
And
for
that's
me.
the key, what you just said, because also there's a protection. Because sometimes you think you're ready, and you could be ready, but the environment is
It's
not ready for you.
me. Say that, girl. Yes.
Because I'll never forget, me and my husband, we was like, oh, we're going to get this house. And we was down to the closing. Like, oh, we got this house. We had residual income, had a Section 8 family there, was everything we prayed for. Got down to the closing, few $1,000s we didn't have, we were short. Oh, I was so heartbroken. Didn't go through. Oh, I cried. Yes, I did.
I know, I'm
cried
sure
like
you
a baby.
did.
I was like, God, I prayed, and God, I fasted. And then, yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Telling God what we did. Not knowing it was maybe a few months, my husband's job closed down. Wow. And in my prayer time, he said, and that's why I didn't let it go through. He said, because how was you going to pay the mortgage?
Girl.
You talking about praising God? I cried even more because it was still hurting, but yet I praise God, because what I was asking for is not saying he didn't want to give it to me, but he saw so far ahead of what was going to happen. So what did he do? He said, I have to let you hurt now on this level, then for me to let you get in it and really hurt on another level.
Oh God, that is so true.
Anything that you're going through, and I hope that's encouraging somebody,
Yes.
there's a protection.
Yes.
And in prayer and our worship, we forget he's our father. And what do parents do? We want to protect
our kids. Yes.
we tell our
children.
kids, don't hang with this one. Don't hang with, why I can't be with this one? Why I can't be? There's a protection.
Yes.
And he's not always going to explain why.
Yeah.
As parents, we don't always explain why.
Yes.
But trust us.
Yes. No, let me tell you, you are so on point with that, because I recently had 2 situations that was actually revealed.
Wow.
That I literally said to myself that had I moved forward in that, and mind you, there was setback like a month with my person, my caregiving, my transplant patient that I'm caring for. This is minor, but I still I saw it. My discernment was amazing. It's my birthday, and I usually make grand plans with my friends or whoever for my birthday. They kept asking me, "Your birthday's coming. What are we doing?" And I was like, "I don't know yet." I was like, "Something in my spirit is just telling me not to plan anything too soon right now. I'll let you know the week of." And usually I have my birthday planned at least 6 months.
Yes.
My birthday week was spent in the hospital with my loved one. because I needed to
That's
got
where
the
you needed to
call.
be.
That's where I needed to be. And if
Yes.
I had not, if I had made plans prior, I would have
yeah.
been gone. I wouldn't have been here for the
Wow.
transplant, to care for the person, none of that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I literally said to my friends, that was my birthday. And God
Yes.
had revealed, I just needed to sit in what he was showing me, not be upset, because they were all like, I can't believe you don't have a Bible study. For some reason, I just don't feel like I'm
Yes.
missing out or anything. We'll
Nope.
figure it out. You know, like it's not a big thing. And thank God I didn't make any grand plans that I would have eventually had to cancel
Yes.
because that opportunity for a kidney became available for my loved one. That you just hit it on the head. This woman is amazing. All right, let me see. I wrote questions. I don't know if I need to. How can individuals cultivate a sense of faith and trust in the power of prayer, especially during times of doubt or uncertainty? I think we kind of addressed that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, you just got to kind of look back at what he's done before.
Okay. All right. And how can one discern between their own desires and the guidance received through prayer?
A peace.
Yep.
There is going to be such an inner peace. If you're making a decision and you tossing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, God said he would give you what? Perfect peace.
Yes.
Whose mind is stayed on thee.
Yeah.
So if you make a decision, it's just something on the inside innate. Like, you know what, Lord, this is what we're going to do. And a lot of times he just wants you to stop being indecisive.
Right. Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because the Bible said a man that is unstable. It's unstable in all his ways.
Yes.
So if you're going to make a decision, the Bible said, let your yea be yea,
Yep.
and let your nay be nay.
Yep.
You know.
And that's faith.
It is.
You know
It's
what
just
I mean?
faith, like, Lord, and if it aligns with his word,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
if it aligns with his word, pray his word. You know, Lord, I'm stepping out on faith for this.
Yeah, yeah.
And he'll start showing you the signs.
Yeah.
And, you know, God, he'll use your pastor. He'll use a friend. Sometimes it might be a billboard. You'd be surprised how God would give you them little inklings if you
Yes.
ask him.
If you
say,
ask
Lord,
him.
if this is you, I need a sign
Yeah.
so that I know I won't keep making these same mistakes.
Yes.
And I've had to start doing that because though I was praying for others, for my own personal self, I wasn't making mature decisions. And I was making those decisions out of my emotions. So when I was in prayer, I had to allow God to stabilize Annette.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
will. How do you
Yes.
know that? Oh, he'll let you know. That's you.
Yes.
Word, that's not my word. That's
Yes.
your will. It's not my will.
Yes.
And we got to be so careful of God's permissive will or his divine will. Because sometimes what permissive will is, you can beg so much, just like a child.
Right.
Can beg you something for so much and you go, here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then after you get it, like,
It's not what I wanted.
This is not what I wanted. That's called permissive. But when it's his divine will,
Yes. Yes.
you really will see all of the pieces start lining up.
Yeah.
And one thing about prayer, God doesn't give it to you all in one shot.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's where that trust comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you follow what he's saying and obey him in the little, then you start seeing the pieces and things line up. And it's not saying that if it's not God's will, oh, you know, wow, but this happened, that happened. Sometimes those things do happen because then you got to know when it's the enemy.
Right.
So if God gave you a word for a business to write your book, you know God has told you this, and you go to do that thing, and you start seeing all of these different things happen, that's an inkling, oh, I'm on the right track.
Yes.
Because if you're doing and there's no attack coming,
Yeah.
then you got to stop and say, okay, Lord, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be
do.
doing?
Yeah.
Because anytime you do for God, the attacks, they're going to come.
Definitely.
They
All
are going to come.
Fast and furious.
And that's an inkling of, you know
That
what,
you're
Lord?
on the right path.
I'm on the right track
That's
because I'm
right.
getting hit.
That's
So since
right.
I'm on this right track, let me get this prayer partner. Let
Yeah.
me get it. Look, I'm on the right track. I can't share all my details,
Yes.
but just cover me in prayer.
And that's
what it does. Prayer shields.
Yes.
There's a covering.
That's what I was just about to say. That's
It's a
when
covering.
that prayer, that prayer is now covering you, and you have to be even more fervent
Yes.
in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
More steadfast in it. So speaking of that, remaining steadfast and fervent in prayer, which is what we need to do. A 15 minutes sounds good. A few minutes every day and every morning sounds good. But we need to be deeper in prayer for the state of our world,
Yes.
for the state of our
Yes.
peace,
We
for
need
the
it.
the wholeness and the security of our family. How do we in this time today etch out more than 15 15. I know it's a process. We're going to graduate to it, but
Right.
stay fervent in it with a meaning and a purpose.
It comes from within. It's a decision and it's a choice. I think we fail to realize that you choose to forgive.
Yeah.
You choose to do certain things. Now, yes, some things are out of our control, but whatever is in your control, you can only control you.
Yeah.
You can't control what everything that's going on.
That's right.
But it is something about prayer. It sustains your mind when you're really talking to God. And I mean, you could be in the heat of situations and the situation doesn't change. We forget God is after us changing first.
Yes.
Because if we let him change us in here, our inner, everything else is secondary.
That's right.
Now, you could be in the heat, like the Hebrew boys, but where was he? Right in the midst of
That's
them.
right. That's right.
The disciples on the ship, they thought it was going to go down.
Yeah.
But what ship is going to go down that Jesus is on?
That's right.
There's no ship.
That's
And that
right.
means it could be rocking, rolling, feeling like you're drowning.
Yeah.
But there is no ship, there is no circumstance that can take you out of here because God's hand is still on you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Elder Annette Christian. You are amazing.
Trust him.
Just
Yes.
you
That's
left
it.
us with the word. I so appreciated the power of prayer. So important. We're gonna leave your information. I believe you have a Facebook page called Inspiring Impact. What is that about? Speak to me about what the page sort of.
The inspiring impact, just in prayer.
Good.
One day, because I love inspiring and helping people what I didn't receive.
I love that. All right.
To give out.
Yes.
And just to encourage.
I love that.
You know, so I need to get back on it, but you know,
Yes.
just to really encourage.
Well, please
you know.
follow her, my
Yes.
friends. And we also, I told you earlier, I am now part of an amazing church. That's my church.
Yes.
My amazing church, Agape Cathedral
Yes.
in Baldwin. We are having a chew and chat. Tell us
This
real
Thursday.
quick what that is and when
This
is it?
Thursday, yes. Well, we having ladies that come together on Zoom, and we get to eat and chat.
Oh, wow.
And we just dialogue, you know, and like we're doing now, we have conversation and we learn, and we really talk about life issues.
I love that. I love
Life
that.
issues. You get to ask questions, even though all questions may not be answered, but they are taken into consideration. And we just enjoy each other.
Now, when
Yeah.
it says chew and chat, where's the food? Where we?
Oh, you can have your food.
So we are actually like having dinner
Yeah,
together
some
while
people
we're
do. Yeah, some do. Some do. Some don't. And so that's where we got it. Chew and chat.
I like
That's
that.
It.
I love that. Is this a monthly or quarterly? How often? have you-
So far, I believe we're doing it quarterly.
Quarterly.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All
Yes.
right. Well, again, we are at Agape Cathedral,
Yes.
881 Merrick Road.
Yes.
Merrick Road in Baldwin,
Baldwin, New
Long
York.
Island. Thank you so
Yes.
much, my friend, for
Yes,
being
thank
here.
you. Pleasure.
I so appreciate
Thank
you
you.
and all that you imparted to our viewers as
Amen.
well as me. Okay.
Amen.
All right. So we're gonna get real quick to the Dare to Be You.
Okay.
And it says, prayer holds transformative power, serving as a path for divine guidance and blessings, nurturing our faith and aligning us with the greater purpose of life. So the Dare to Be You is to let us harness the transformative power of prayer to inspire action and bring about positive change in our lives and community. And that's actually what we discussed this evening. This amazing woman told us what the power of prayer not only means in her life, but what it means for all of us out there. How we need to believe in God, to have faith in God, to speak in God, to go to Him with our petitions, right?
yes.
Whether good or bad, scream, cry, do whatever you
Yes.
need to do, but just believe that He is there and He's already planned out your path. All you have to do is walk through it, but believe in it first. Everything that He has in store for you, because everything that He has in store for us is greater than
Yes.
what we can ever imagine.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you so much for being here.
Thank
And I
you.
would like you also to just leave us with some parting words. You had some beautiful words to say a minute ago, but yes, share with us. I think we have like 30 seconds, something you have on your heart.
Just be encouraged and go forward, that no matter what you're going through, you truly are more than a conqueror. Go forward.
Yes.
forge ahead, and don't give up. Never give up. Always go forward.
I love that. Thank you so much again for being here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Our Unity. I want you to remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So please go out there, be some love, give some love, and just share some love. And definitely get some prayers in. Count your blessings. Be grateful for your life and the life of others. We will see you next week on Our Unity. In the meantime, I love you, and I want you to have a good night. We will see you later. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Yes.